Hello everyone, this is Lucy from Seaside Tarot, and I thought I'd just pop on quickly to tell you what I plan to do for the season of Mabon, B-M-A-B-O-N, Mabon, and what decks I'm going to use, and breathe, what decks I'm going to use and how I'm going to use them and why I'm going to use them. And let's start at the beginning. So tonight is the first night. I'm going to be using two decks, one tarot, one oracle, and tonight is the 18th of March and it's the full moon. So tonight's full moon falls in the earthy sign of Virgo. It is illuming the part of my life that is stagnant, that has been stagnant. It's been stagnant for the last 2 years. I haven't been able to leave my district, but I live in a very nice part of the world, and it's safe here. So I'm very lucky and blessed, and I'm very grateful for living here. You know those dreams that you have, but you have been too busy or they feel too out of reach for you to act upon them. Well, I haven't been able to travel very much in the last 2 years. Haven't been allowed out of the country. And I probably won't be allowed out of the country for a little while longer. Anyway, with the full moon will guide me forward with grounded and aligned baby steps in the direction of my dreams. But move you must, a wish. Trust in her insight, trust in my intuition. You really do have her support right now. Write down your top 3 dreams. Well, I'll be doing my tarot spread for Moon in Virgo tonight, and I'll look up a good spread to use, and I'll write it in this journal. And this journal was given to me by a dear friend. It was a Christmas present, and it was created by Nikki Garcio, I think is how you pronounce it. I think. Pardon me if it's wrong. And I also will refer to Stacey DeMarco's 2022 Lunar and Seasonal Diary for the Southern Hemisphere, because I'm coming to you from the South. And this is the month of March, which is the beginning of autumn for me. And let's see. So it's starting to get cooler in the evenings and in the mornings, and the dew is forming on the grass in the mornings, and you can feel the change in the air. Even though I live in the mid-northern part of Australia, I can still feel the transition from summer to autumn. And so I'm moving from my summer decks to my winter decks. So I'm going to be following the Wheel of the Year for Mabon, or Mabon, from the 21st of March. I'll be celebrating the Harvest Festival. So with that being said, I have chosen 2 decks that represent this time of year, the harvest time of year, the colours of the beginning of autumn, the season of autumn. So I have chosen the Seasons of the Witch. Even though it says Beltane, the colours in this deck are very autumnal, and although you can use it, it's designed to go for spring, but for austerer, but for me it's very autumnal. And the book has been written, or the creators are Laurie-Ann Anderson and Juliet Diaz, and it was illustrated by Guy Gader Rose. And I have their other two decks, Yule and Samhain, which I've used for the Northern Hemisphere's October and December. So I look forward to the next deck. Don't know what it is. They haven't released any information on it yet as far as I'm aware of. And the other deck, the tarot deck, is the Lilifer deck, which I got last week, and I opened earlier this afternoon when I tried to film this video before. I opened it on camera, but it's open now, and I've shuffled it, and so we're going to just work with it. So it's not a deck review in as much as I won't be going through each deck, each card in the deck. I'll just be going through and telling you what I plan to do for the next 30 days before we get to, or 5 weeks, I think it is, 5 weeks before we get to Samhain in the Southern Hemisphere. So in the Northern Hemisphere, it's Ostera. In the Southern, it's Mabon. Now, just quickly, the Seasons of the Witch has gilding, gold gilding, has a lovely back of bees with a moon. So for me, that represents harvest time as well. And the colours represent the end of summer. So you can use it for Ostera and Beltane, as well as Mabon. The other deck has autumnal colours too. It has the reds and the golds and the greens, the blues, because I live by the sea. And it's very autumnal as well. And so with that being said, we'll go into explaining the deck. There's the back, there's the sides, not gilded, which is fine by me because there's a lot of white space on the deck. And so we have, for instance, we have number 44, Wildcat. So I'm going to do a 3-card spread using the Oracle and the Tarot on either side. Sometimes people use the Tarot in the middle and a different Oracle on either side, but for today's video, I'm using the Oracle. So this is following Dawn Michelle's method of using a 3-card spread and using the Oracle as the centerpiece. So my centerpiece here, it says wild card. It says, be still, tuned in, for there is something aloof or afoot lurking alongside you. So what it's saying is there are forces swirling around you that have missed your eye. Like a ferocious cat lurking silently in the trees, someone or something is nearby that does not have your best interest in mind. Wildcat has appeared in your spread to warn you that all is not as it seems. You may have felt an unease creeping along your spine, or perhaps you've picked up a sense of danger, but have questioned the validity of what you feel because your eyes are seeing a different picture. Trust in your instinct, as they are letting you know that something isn't right, even though you don't have proof. Be especially careful if your question is about a specific person. They may be hiding something from you, and whether it's good or bad remains unseen. Be discerning with your time and your resources and information. Only share what is absolutely necessary and gathering all information before you can make further decisions. If you have pulled Rowan along with Wildcat, you know that the situation will resolve itself in your favor. You are sacred. So that's the main message of this reading. But to clarify it, there's 2 tarot cards. So in this deck, this is the Lilifer Tarot. I keep calling it the Lucifer Tarot, but it's the Lilifer Tarot. And it's a unique tarot of 80 cards, honouring the esoteric roots of tarot with hand-painted watercolours. I quite like hand-painted watercolour decks. So far so good. Lilifer comes with a booklet filled with traditional card meanings and magical correspondences to help you connect with your innate knowledge and intuitive nature. So that being said, this deck has a very pretty back, unusual. It's got snakes, rainbows, eyes, and the deck is full of symbols, which I'll explain in a minute. The cardstock is good. I was able to shuffle this really well. Not a good riffle shuffle up, but it worked. Worked all right. So I'm just find, because I've been researching the particular card too. It's what I drew earlier, and so we'll just find the devil again. The devil of a card has gone missing. Devil of card has gone missing. Aren't the colours lovely? Very autumn deck. Or you could say a very spring deck. But for me it's going to be autumn. Alright, so the Lilifer deck is full of symbols and correspondences. So you need to study up on those before you even attempt to use the deck. So as the artist and creator and artist, Art and Words by Marion Constantine at www.little-darkness.com. And what she says is the Lucifer was inspired by early tarot decks, the occult tradition, and my own magical practice. It borrows structure from the traditional Tarot de Marseille, therefore justice is number 8 and strength is number 11. Because I'm also fond of Waite Smith Tarot, you'll notice that the pip cards are evocative and seem to tell a story rather than relying solely on esoteric numerology like the Tarot de Marseille. This hybrid of a deck was intended as work of intuitive art, as such is highly subjective, so you can use your own intuition or you can follow what the creator's trying to convey, using her own experience with the tarot. She does note that the Queen sits on top of each suit. This choice symbolizes the needed departure from patriarchal organization of our society and is meant to invite the return to balance. You will notice the King and Queen resemble one another in this deck. They are equals, so that's interesting. So then it goes in, because there's so many correspondences on the cards, just a lot of symbols. You need to study this up. So for the whole month, I'll be learning this deck. So it goes into the 4 elements: air, fire, water, and earth. And within each of the elements, it has virtues, vices, symbols, and colours. So if you see, for instance, in air, the analytical self, the symbols in the cards, if you see swords, birds, clouds, feathers, and butterflies, and the colours for air, yellow, white, ice blue, sky blue, indigo, and violet. The virtues are intelligence, integration, logic, imagination, justice, fairness, and thought. So that's the sword suit. Fire, colours are, even the cards are red, orange, gold, pink, and purple. Symbols: flames, lightning, sun, dragon, lion, and salamanders, and laurel wreaths. And the virtues and the vices. For water is the psychic self, fire is the healing self, earth is the magic self. Symbols are plant, flower, rock, wolf, mountain, and roots. So you'll see those in the cards themselves. So then it goes on to the elemental denotes. They're the 4 elements. So whether the element is balanced or is in excess, goes into different explanation of that. So how they interact with each other, the 4 elements interact with each other in nature, and keep in mind that excess is often destructive. Then it goes into the zodiac signs. Planet, for instance, Aries, sign of Aries, cardinal sign, Mars, fire, leadership, all the gifts, leadership, intuition, courage, and so forth. Body, what part of the body does Aries represent? Head, face, and brain. Herbs, cayenne, ginger, nettle, basil, vetiver. Stones, bloodstone, hematite, fire, agate. And then for each of the zodiac signs, it goes through the planet, element, gifts, body, herbs, and stones. And then we have the planetary symbols. So then it goes into the colours, what each of the colours represent. And then the female principle and the male principle. Lots of symbols in each of these watercolour drawings. And because it follows the Tarot de Marseille, it has the numerologic meanings, sacred numbers, and then we have sacred symbols. So I'll be learning this deck for a full 5 weeks. And then the creatures themselves have a meaning. They have a meaning as well. So lots to learn. Has tarot spreads that I can use for the month. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it goes into the major arcana and the minor. So it's just a little white book. But again, it'll tell you the element, the stone, the herbs, and it gives you an affirmation for that card as well. So for instance, this is what I drew when I was taping this before, and I made a mistake and had to do it all over again. The devil, the hermit, and the wild card. Excuse me, my dog wants to get in. So on the devil, we have a number of symbols. We have the fire symbol down here. We have a key representing being attached, I think. We have a triangle with the eye in it. I had to look this up. Don't know what a triangle with an eye. Triangle representing summoning energy, opposites, things that come in threes, such as body, mind, spirit, past, present, and future. With the little eye, perception, inner knowledge, seeing the truth, judgment, intuition, clairvoyance, omniscience, the soul, intelligence, and moral compass. And we've got Scorpio in Saturn, I think that is. Let's have a look. Oh, and the colours are red, which is power, passion, intensity, personal security, fiery love, and sexuality. So then we have, yes, Saturn. Responsibility, duty, charge, transformation, time, and choices. So, okay, our main message is the wildcat. So what this is telling me, that I need to be very mindful of what's around me and who's around me and what I'm attached to. So this is helping me understand the message. What I'm attached to. And to be discerning with my time and my resources and any information that's being given to me. I need to be careful of misinformation and to be mindful of choosing what is right for me and not just buying discriminately what everybody else thinks is right for me. I need to stop being attached to outcomes. I need to be more connected to my intuition, because we've got the Hermit on the other side. So if I look up, I need to start trusting in my instincts more, getting back to my early learnings. And on the other side we have, let's have a look and see what she says about the Hermit. So the Hermit's in Virgo, and the brown represents, the brown colours and the blue colours represent, the brown represents fertile ground, inner peace, organic matter, healing, centering and anchoring, and the blue represents peace, truth, tranquility, trust, honesty, harmony, calm, and communication. So what I'm being told is to be still, go within, trust my instinct, and don't get attached to any outcome, because it will resolve itself as long as I'm truthful and honest and move forward with integrity. Let go of my desire to own every tarot deck that has ever existed. That's what I'm going to do this year. And so far, I haven't bought too many. I've only, this deck, these decks were pre-purchased last year. The Lilifer was a Kickstarter deck and it came in last week. So I'm very happy with these decks, and I'm going to enjoy the 5 weeks to come during the season of Mabon. Enjoy your day. Many blessings, Lucy.